Hello, my name is Denzel Myers, and I recently got divorced for the third time. Now the thing is, when you get divorced for the third time, you realize that you kind of lose your right to step back and say, oh, that was a mistake. And you've got to at least be open to the idea that, well, maybe it wasn't a mistake. Maybe none of them were a mistake. Maybe there are no such things as mistakes. My big moment of enlightenment came after my second divorce. I was at home one night feeling unsafe and insecure, and all of a sudden it hit me. I don't need a woman to feel unsafe and insecure. This episode of DreamDivorce.tv is for all those people out there who are asking the important question, how do I make it stop hurting? And I get it, I get this question. You're in the middle of getting divorced, you're confused, you're angry, you're upset, you're hurt. One minute you have this whole story about the rest of your life, and then the next moment it's all completely gone. And right now, you don't have anything to replace it. And you may feel at moments that it's too much and that you're about to be overwhelmed and have the feeling that literally I might not make it. Now, I'm going to apologize because if you were looking for a listicle or some kind of like 3 things that I can do to make everything stop hurting, I'm sorry I don't really have anything like that. Pain and confusion are a normal part of divorce. If you weren't experiencing pain and confusion now, I would be really worried for you. Shit happens. How do we deal with our feelings when things don't work out? I think this question, how do I make it stop hurting, is a great question. And actually, it's not a beginner question, it's an advanced question. The beginner questions are questions like, what's happening? What do I do next? How do I get that person I'm married to stop doing whatever they're doing and do the thing that I want them to do? All these questions that I'm calling the beginner questions are understandable, and some of them are actually useful, like, what's happening to me and what do I do next? Those are legal questions that you can answer by doing some research, buying a book, going to the library. But the other questions about why is he or she doing this and how do I get this person to stop doing whatever the hell they're doing and do what I want them to do, those are another story because they are focused on the other person. When we are consumed or obsessed with the other person and what they're doing and whether they're wrong or right, we're trapped. We're trapped because we're dependent on them and we're not dealing with ourselves, we're not growing, we're not helping ourselves. So if you find yourself stuck in this place where you can't get your mind off the other person and how much of a jerk they're being, this is your moment. This is your mirror. Can you turn the attention away from the other person and towards taking care of yourself? Let me tell you what happened for me. One day I was at the computer and I was Googling the definitions for emotional abuse. And I was reading them to see if my situation qualified. All of a sudden, I realized that I didn't trust myself, I didn't trust my own feelings, and that I was going to Google to give me permission to be unhappy enough to do something about my marriage. Great, so the other person is wrong and I'm right. What does that do? What does that help? Absolutely nothing. That doesn't help my pain at all. I got to the place where I just said, I'm out of ideas. I don't know what I could do, what else I could do, what else I could try to make things different, to fix it, to change it. That was when things started to change for me, when I gave up. I was there. I put myself there. I chose to be there. And it made me feel better that I was a participant instead of a victim, because now I have more power. So great, fantastic. Now we're here. We're going to take responsibility for our own pain. Now what? This is the advanced work. I'm not blaming it on the other person or putting the responsibility for fixing it or changing it on the other person. I'm going to take it as my own, and what can I learn and what can I make of that? Now, these are questions you can ask yourself with a therapist. You can write down the answers in a notebook. You can go to a support group. Okay, number 1, taking a moment in a quiet place and checking in with where is the pain in your body. Where do you feel it? I can slow my breathing. I can take a moment. I can just feel it and have it and let it be there. And my experience is that that alone calms me down. To just pay attention and listen to it instead of trying to push it away all the time, just listening actually does help. What we're doing here is to acknowledge that all the experiences and all the emotions that we have are experienced by the body and held by the body, and sometimes we don't even realize it. Does it feel like somebody stabbed you in the back or punched you in the stomach or kicked you in the nuts? Yeah, or punched you in the mouth, or all of those. The last thing that I'm going to suggest is actually a 1-minute tip that I believe will help you out. And it is to get a Post-it note and write the question, how can I grow and thrive from this? And put that Post-it note on your refrigerator. You probably never asked yourself that question. How can I take this awful, awful thing that's happening in my life right now and grow and thrive and make the most out of it? I'm not saying that you got to think about it or ask your therapist or write anything down. And I think that if you just put that up in a place where you see it every day for the next few months, that it'll start to seep in and some certain little part of your brain will say, yeah, how can we make the most of this? So that's the advice I have. How do I make it stop hurting? Don't make it stop hurting. Take it, own it, work with it. Find a way to love it and have compassion for the parts of you that are in pain. That's the way. That's the only way. Move through this difficult moment in a way that makes you better. No, in a way that you make you better. This is DreamDivorce.tv. Love your divorce for the rest of your life? You don't have to, but you can. It's up to you.